They're abolishing the council tax, and we're abolishing, as you've rightly said, business rates for lots of folk as well. But abolishing the council tax is not, as you put it, a tax rise. This is not just a move to a fairer system of taxation. It's also lower tax, because we're also introducing a major tax cut, the biggest tax cut in Scotland actually for a generation. Now, my thinking on this is very much governed by my experience as a constituency member of Parliament. And in the last 15 years, since we've had the council tax progressively going up and up and up, 60% up in the last 10 years increasingly, I have people in my constituency surgeries who are in distress about their council tax bills. I can honestly say I have never had someone in distress about pay-as-you-earn income tax. I've had some people moaning about the inland revenue, but I've never had somebody break down in distress in my surgery about council tax bills. I regularly have that with the council tax. I have it with mostly old age pensioners, people who come in, they are people who are going to pay and they're going to do with other things in order to meet this bill. Now, that's a point I've been making in this election campaign. Nicola Stephen made the same point in a debate we had. And I don't think that experience can be confined to myself and Nicola Stephen. This must be an experience that lots of members of Parliament, lots of members of the Scottish Parliament are having. That is the reality of how council tax is seen and regarded. It is oppressive among a large number of people who cannot afford to pay an imposition which was never meant to be the extent that it is. That's why it's so unpopular. It is a system of taxation which is not inherently unfair, but the way it's structured makes it unfair because it can be unrelated to people's ability to pay. To substitute a system of taxation which is basically related to their ability to pay, whether they're self-employed or whether they're PAYE, is inherently a fairer system than one which is not related to people's ability to pay. To make the transition to it easier, we've not just said we're going to use a local income tax, but we're going to cut taxes by £450 million to make sure that 80% of people gain, that only the top decile of income earners will be on average better off, and even in that top, well,
it's simply not
yes,
true.
it is true of.
Well, you've neither addressed the numbers. I mean, you're simply saying,
3 pence in the
you're
pound,
simply saying that one system is unfair and we're replacing it with a fairer system, but you've never come up with any numbers.
It's not true.
The IFS numbers are not about, you know, I could go.
Well, I know, but just for your articles, I mean, well, we can have this debate. We got to have this debate.
But it's an important debate, Alec, because after the election, people will discover from their tax bills whether or not they're better or worse off.
Yes, well, and that's your position in the debate. I've got a different position in the debate, but don't say to me that we didn't publish these numbers. We had a press conference with the Institute of Fiscal Studies numbers at 3 pence in the pound. Now, you might argue, and that's a matter for you to say, oh, we couldn't do it at 3 pence in the pound, but our policy is for 3 pence in the pound, and what you ignore, or at least in some of your articles you ignore, the element of tax cut that we're introducing to make this transition to a fair system. And I have always tried, in terms of approaching taxation, to start from the position of what is an inherently fair system of taxation. I know that nobody, including me and including you, likes paying taxation of any kind. It's not popular. If you have to pay tax, then let's do it on a fair system based on the ability to pay, as opposed to an unfair system which is oppressing large numbers of people in our community right now. That's why I believe abolishing the council tax will be a major winner in this election campaign.